One of the first things that fascinated me when Srini referred this book and said read it is the title itself, Twice Born. It's a very beautiful title. Why Twice Born?
Okay, initially it came in my meditation, I didn't know. But so it is referring to a spiritual experience which may not be just with me. I'm sure a lot of people would have had the experience and probably they weren't meant to share. Where you come to this life in this body and you complete your entire karma and you complete your entire soul plan. You've learned all the lessons, you have served whoever you had to serve, you finish everything. You just now you have breaths left, but you have no purpose.
Yeah.
So then I was given a choice. Like I think I've written it. I was at the table and I was given a choice. Do you want to go now or do you want to do more? But that was a trick question. I said, okay, I'll work more if I have more breaths. I didn't know how much more work they were bringing. So it is when you finish a level of consciousness within the body, and it can. I thought it can happen just once, but I realized it will happen again and again if you manage to finish the work. So every time you finish your complete work, your consciousness evolves to another level, and you in the same body, same soul, but new set of guides and new set of learning and experiences. But it's a little also scary because there you sat with them and decided this time they're bringing it to you. You don't know anything
So
else.
it's a little bit like being on a blind date.
Yes, with your guides and your own soul plan. Yeah, so each time your level of consciousness shifts and your lessons changes. So much so, it is very strange, but my physical body also reacted. Once this thing happened for me when I was told, okay, your work is done, now you can move to another level. I used to have very straight, silky hair. And the moment I agreed, within 9 months, my hair has become completely wavy and different. Like sometimes I stand in front of the mirror and I still can't recognize this is my hair. Everything changed. And when I agreed, when this happened, my nationality changed. I became an Indian, my hair changed, the way I conducted myself changed. I let go of a lot of energy healing modalities, let's say Reiki, magnified healing, pranic healing. You know, I'm an Arhati yogi with pranic healing. I used to teach it. Access consciousness. I let go of a lot of energy work and only focused on deep therapy work. You know, and I never went back to those modalities. I still use them when I'm working with the client, but I never back to teach them, to talk about them. They're like as if that was another lifetime altogether, you know. So a lot will shift once this happens. But this refers to your consciousness shifting and an entire new blueprint of your soul plan, new set of guides, everything comes. And then at that time it was my first time, so I felt I'm twice being born in the same body. And you won't believe for the 9 months I was in transit. I didn't know, I discovered later. I used to sleep like a fetus, you know. I would just sleep like this in my bed and I could not understand. And the only thing I could digest was, you know, that green vegetable, we call it, what do we call it?
Bottle gourd.
Yes, that was the only thing. For 9 months, breakfast, lunch and dinner, I had that. So much so that my help at home, who used to cook it, couldn't look at that vegetable anymore. But you know, because that's such a light food and my body was delicate, I was going through a transit. So I could only digest that, I couldn't eat anything else. That's all I ate. And then I was given a birth, date of birth and a time and everything, which I still celebrate, you know. But then after that I had another one in 2022.
So you have 2 birthdays.
I now have actually 3.
3 birthdays.
3 birthdays. It's nice. I think there are
More
some
reasons
perks.
to celebrate.
There are some perks of doing this kind of work, as hard as it may sound. So, where are you now? What are you working on now within yourself?
So I feel the first time I went through a rebirth of consciousness, it took 9 months. But the second time I went through it, because the work that came with it, and also the pace was faster, because now I knew the game, I was no more scared. It was so fast. So the work finished in just about 2 years, but this is now 1.5 years I'm in transit. I just discovered, thanks to someone I know, that there were so many layers of fear that I wasn't even aware I had. So the second half of 2025, I worked only on fear. I come across as a very fearless person. You can imagine, left the country, left the family, left the job, left another job, left another country, run away 13 times, left a relationship. I come and oh, she doesn't care. But thanks to someone and some situation, I started discovering certain layers of fear that I really didn't know it existed. So I have been working on those, and I realized they came up because the new version of me is one, I gave up the contract with those galactics. I said, okay, I have done this many years and I have done this much of work, no more, we are done. Yeah. So I have resigned kind of a thing from there. And now
I hope they accepted your resignation.
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
the
matter.
choice is in my hand. Free will. So I chose that. So my free will was of no choice. I chose to have a no choice. And when I learned the game, I realized no, you can still change that also. So I changed it. It's going to take some time. So then, because I changed that, the fears came up. Right now, I'm going to be responsible. But also because the moment you move from fear, you're moving into faith. And to move into faith, you also need to change the entire dynamic of your life. No? You no more can be operating from faith or are learning the lesson of self-love and faith, but you're operating from survival.
Yeah.
You need to move into thriving. Otherwise, you're contradicting.
Yeah.
So the body will give up. Too much of contradiction. So this is where I'm working. This is where I am very actively working.
Sounds both exciting and challenging.
It is, but I think the first few months was very difficult. I couldn't understand what was happening. And Srini asked me, why have you lost so much of weight? So now the secret is out. It is the result of what I went through. I have been going through spiritually. It was so much of pressure that my body and also my emotional state couldn't handle it. I was too much coming on a daily basis on my face. So hopefully once I move out of the transit, it seems like the Saturn transit is a long one.
No, but they
It's not moving fast.
do invite us for your birthdays.
Sure.
Srini cannot miss a birthday cake. So that, I think he has vested interest there.
Sure. There will be 4 of them. Yeah, so that's what is happening with me right now. Yeah.
So this has been an amazing conversation, and I know that we will continue the conversation.
Thank you.
But we are going to take a little bit of a pause
Yes.
to process what we have heard, and because a lot of it is new, and a lot of it is pointing inward, and a lot of it feels like, oh my God, I'm now responsible for myself.
Yeah.
So I think we
But
need to.
isn't that liberating?
It is liberating in a very scary way.
Yeah.
No, it's like you have to change the direction.
Direction.
Like you missed the exit, you have to do it again,
Yeah.
something like that.
Or
So
maybe the airport also.
yeah, you got into the wrong flight itself. So we have to change the flights. And so interesting analysis. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me. It was me my pleasure. Thank